Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast in Game 4 in a best of 7 series between Moon, Glade, and RiseN here on Princess Fortress 2. Whenever I see a new map like this, I just have to take a look at it, try to absorb it, and try to make any early predictions here on the map. Now there are 4 spawning locations on this map. There's one at what I'll call the 11 o'clock location, another one for RiseN spawning over here at the 8 o'clock position. There's also one down over here, and then finally one over here as well. Curious things to note on this particular matchup, or on this particular map, is your natural expansion only has 7 mineral patches instead of 8. On top of that, the high yield mineral expansions are actually mixed in with normal mineral expansions here. Also, there is a Zelnaga watchtower right next to this expo, so your expansion should be fairly easy to defend. As you can see, this large ramp here and this large ramp here, making it very easy for any units to be defended as well. There are also island expansions that have another 7 mineral patches. However, the distance, I believe, on these refineries are a little bit farther than normal, so you may need 3, or you may need 4 harvesters in order to mine from them very efficiently. And on top of that, there is a garage here, so this is a destructible building. You need to take it down in order to be able to even start mining out of this location, making it a little bit more difficult for a Terran player to try to lift off and come into the game. Now gonna go ahead and start up the replay. You see Moonglade spawning here as the purple Zerg, and over here at the 11 o'clock position there are also some dark vents over here as well. Meanwhile, we have the green Protoss player spawning over here at the 8 o'clock position. Should be an interesting matchup. The maps are fairly large in your starting location area. Also, it is fairly difficult in order to try to run any Reapers or any cliff jumping units into your base, just because you know, this is a no walking zone all the way around, and then the only way to really walk in is in through this door right here. We now see RiseN perhaps trying to set up a front door forge expansion, and I don't think this is really gonna work, not on this particular map, just because of the location and this rather wide ramp here. He may just be trying to do a front door forge here, and then perhaps put up a cannon here, and with a cannon here it should be able to offer enough protection against perhaps any early zealots, any early Zerglings. So we'll see how this all works out. We now see a drone now making its way out as well. A probe will be able to come in, get some sight in just a second as it comes into this location and get some more scouting done. We do not see a Vespene Geyser or an extractor down just quite yet, and trying to see if we're going to see an early spawning pool or an early gateway, an early spawning pool or an early hatchery. Production wise, we now see a gateway coming in from RiseN, so RiseN opening up with that standard gateway so far onto that low ground, and now we see a drone making its way. That drone will try to set up in this position in just a second, however will not be able to. And now a second probe now coming in. Moonglade having double drones, perhaps not trying to set up a spawning, setting up the spawning pool instead. So in comes that spawning pool, as now Moonglade sees there is an overlord here. With an overlord here, we'll be able to see this gateway, and this gateway may be trying to chrono boost zealots, and it does in fact look that way, as there is a fair amount of energy now being massed up onto this nexus. Additionally, no assimilators down over here, so RiseN may be trying to go for a nexus as well. That would be a very interesting strategy. He does need additional pylons, and he's going to be supply locked. This is a very, very bad opening by RiseN. RiseN will not be able to get enough units. Is he going for an early ground nexus? Yes, he is going for an early nexus. And oh, I understand the positioning finally on this building. This one gateway here finishes off this wall, and any Zerglings that want to try to run into this base need to run all the way around and then back up this ramp in order to get into position. Will we get a forge? Yes, we do have a forge now being built here. So with this forge, Zerglings will have a very difficult time. However, we have one probe now just standing by here. We'll be able to see incoming Zerglings. However, those Zerglings will be able to run in fairly quickly. We now see another pylon coming into position here, and RiseN just in a very, very horrible situation right now. RiseN is behind 2-0 in this matchup, in a critical Game 3 matchup, and now we see a probe coming in, and we see a lot of Zerglings, and because he is currently supply locked, or was supply locked, will not be able to get any early zealots. We now see another photon cannon coming in here. So one photon cannon and another photon cannon coming in here Will it be enough? I think that this one pylon will be able to power perhaps this photon cannon as well. We also get a lot of probes onto that low ground, and now probes just trying to mass up into this position here, trying to get in, trying to get some fighting in. Will it be enough to fight against all of these units here? More probes just trying to mineral path, trying to deal more damage towards those Zerglings. Zerglings are now going to be able to squeeze through. No, not able to squeeze through, as we now have that photon cannon. Nicely done by RiseN. RiseN barely able to hold on into this situation, and now Moonglade may end up losing this Overlord. Overlord down to 181 hit points, may be able to barely escape with its life, barely able to escape. 2 more hits and it would have been enough. We do have 1 Zealot in that position, however, I believe it's stuck. So RiseN with 1 Zealot that is currently stuck, that is just a very, very bad sign, as well as now we finally have a hatchery being placed down over here into this location. And the Vista logo blocking the hatchery animation just a little bit. So that's a little bit disheartening, as it would be very difficult to see if a creep or a building was even being placed down there without looking at the minimap. We now see roaches making their way out, and those roaches will be able to deal a fair amount of damage. Another photon cannon trying to be built in time. The photon cannon takes 40 units of time to build. Will the roaches be able to make it there and deal enough damage? Roaches trying to scurry across the map. It looks like it will be able to, and be able to deal some damage. A second photon cannon, and now 1 Zealot just currently stuck there, as these probes are just going to get picked off. A photon cannon coming over here. A Zealot just watching from behind a pylon. Probes trying to counter against those roaches, and that is just a very, very bad day indeed, as this photon cannon tries to come online. Will it be enough to try to deal enough damage? That last probe finally pulling back there. We see another photon cannon warping in, and perhaps this 1 photon cannon and another photon cannon here will be enough. However, I believe this 1 photon cannon will get shot down by those roaches. No, not will be able to get shot down right there. So you can see that it's currently taking actual damage and past its shields. So those roaches over here, 2-3 roaches, will be able to stop a lot of mining. And now more roaches by Glade. Glade doing a good job putting on a lot of early pressure. We finally see some queens. A roach now starting to spit some more acid towards those probes. And now RiseN does not have enough units, with only 4 photon cannons trying to hold off a very, very large swarm of roaches in just a moment. Things are not looking good at all. RiseN does not see that there are more roaches coming up, finally coming up the ramp. And now those roaches trying to come in will be able to deal a lot of damage. Photon cannon taking a lot of damage here. They're just getting a nice focus around there, getting a nice arch off those roaches. Roach is now able to pick off another photon cannon here, and I believe that is just going to be a lot of trouble for RiseN. RiseN currently confined to 1 base. He does not have a lot of gas here, only able to mine off of 1 assimilator with only 1 gateway and 1 forge, and now more and more roaches army-wise, 750, so 10 roaches currently in play. As this fight continues, more roaches will be able to come online. Will they be able to deal enough damage, perhaps take down this photon cannon as well? That 1 photon cannon able to get some damage onto those roaches as they try to just run around, and now in come more of these roaches. Roaches simply just going to be able to take down 1 photon cannon, perhaps another, and then start picking off at this Nexus. This Nexus will get taken down, and RiseN says GG. So not much to really talk about here. Moonglade just very, very dominant in this matchup. Had these drones fully saturating this location here, or no, not fully saturating. Had what, 2 drones per mineral patch here, able to mine very, very quickly. Also, Glade just continuing to continuing to just mass up a lot of roaches off of 1 gas, which is a very, very smart option. He saw that RiseN was trying to do a very, very fast expand, did not get enough units, and just had a lot of photon cannons. Those photon cannons have a range of 7. However, a range of 7, but they're stationary, were not able to deal enough damage towards those roaches. Roaches were constantly able to move around with that range of 4, and I really believe that Glade won this game because of the upgraded roach range. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 matchup. And now stay tuned for Game 4 in this best of series. RiseN now in the whole 3-0. Will he be able to come back from a 3-0 lead and win 4 straight games? Or will perhaps, or even just force a 5th game? Or will Glade be able to finish this off? And stay tuned.